Hello, fellow metalheads and the vinyl community, and people that's not metalheads and not in the vinyl community. Here for a metal update. It's been quite a while since I've done a metal update. Um, what I usually try to do is I try to save up a lot of stuff periodically as I get it so I can have enough to actually make a metal update. Because I don't buy strictly just metal. I mean, anyone that watches my channel knows that I buy pretty much everything and stuff that most people won't buy. But anyway, so start off here with a Blu-ray disc that I got. Take it out of the sleeve here. It's a documentary that just came out, I think this year. It's the Scorpions, Forever and a Day. And this basically follows the history of the Scorpions all the way up through, I want to say 2000, well, it says 2015 here, so right up to the point where just before they got Mickey D on drums for Motorhead. He plays drums with them now. So it's a really good documentary if you like the Scorpions. You'll like this. My only sort of, not really a disappointment, but my question about it was in the 80s, or I guess it was probably later in the 90s, maybe even early 2000s, their bass player that had been with them for years and years and years and years, maybe from the beginning, I guess had, I don't know if he was in charge of the money or if he just stole a bunch of money, but anyway, he had stole a bunch of money from them. Like over the years, he had like stole tons of money, and I think the last I heard, he disappeared and they haven't been able to find him, or something like that. I'm not sure, but it didn't mention this in the documentary at all. When you'd see certain clips, you could see him in the clips, you know, because he performed with them on stage, but you would never see them, or you never hear them talk about any of that stuff at all. So I don't know if it's because that they're not allowed to talk about it, or if it's because they don't feel comfortable in one way or another. But aside from that, I mean, that's a minor thing that a lot of people wouldn't even know about anyway. But as far as the Scorpions, I think, and I've said this before to people, the Scorpions they don't have a bad song. Every one of their albums is great, you know, from the very beginning all the way up until the last one. Everything I've heard, I'll say it that way. I haven't heard everything, but so anyway, check that out if you get a chance. And this one I special ordered off of Amazon. It's Thor's first album, Keep the Dogs Away, the deluxe version. This one is 3-disc reissue of the 1977 debut album from the metal god Thor. Includes a full bonus disc of rare early tracks plus a DVD of the 1980 live performance. I have this on vinyl. I have an original one on vinyl. And I'd got the original one. Let me show you this first and then I'll tell you about that. Now, let's see if I can show all this without dropping it. But there's a documentary, I think it's still on Netflix, called I Am Thor. It's about the history of him, basically. You should look that up and watch it, because it's really, really good. There's the little insert. But the original album came with this poster, which was obviously bigger in the vinyl. And let's see here if there's any more cool pictures. Of course, there's liner notes in here. See, this is the original album cover. Let me fold this back up and I'll show you there's the original album cover, and there's the deluxe one. So it's a little bit different from the same photo shoot, obviously. But this album is, it's really, when I first heard it, I really didn't know what I was listening to. And then, of course, there's pictures there of Thor with Lars Ulrich, Gene Simmons, and Paul Stanley. But yeah, when I first heard this, it's like I didn't really know what to think. But where I found my original vinyl copy was there was a Salvation Army in Columbus, and I used to go there. They had quite a bit of records at the time. I've been there a few times since then, and they don't really have nothing. It's just junk. But I think there was a record store that had a lot of water damage, and they ended up closing the store. I think that's what the lady told me that rang me up, because they had like tables and tables full of records that they didn't normally have. And so I went through those, and I found Thor, Keep the Dogs Away, and then I also bought Funkadelic, Maggot Brain, and I think Switched on Moog synthesizer. It had like Time of the Season and different songs that they covered. I don't remember what else I bought, but I remember those three off the top of my head. So that was my first introduction to Thor. And then there's the DVD, which I haven't watched yet, but I will be watching really soon. That was my first introduction to Thor, and it's like, wow, this is really strange, but it's really good. I don't know if I showed the back there. But yeah, the first disc is the regular album. The second disc is like all kinds of stuff previous to this album. Quite a few different styles in there. Like there's a song called Do the Muscle. There's a couple versions of that. Then We Are Body Rock, or We Are Body Rock is a couple versions. And then you got Keep the Dogs Away, the demo. But there's 22 songs on the second disc. So You're Like Straws in the Wind, it says there. Came out in 1977, reissued 2016. If you like stuff that's cool and strange and anything in the metal vein, you would definitely like this. It's really awesome. I had it on my iPod that I recorded off my vinyl for the longest time, and then I replaced that with this on my iPod, so very awesome. Then I also ordered, I don't know if you're familiar with Hell's Head Bash. It goes on once a year. I think it's in September. This is their first DVD. This was August 9th of 2014. Meat Meets Metal. And there you can see some of the bands that was on it. Acid Witch, which is a really great band. All these bands are good. Midnight. All these bands are from Ohio or the Michigan area, Detroit, and around that area. I've watched the majority of this one, and it's just great because it's held in like an old warehouse. I think it's a Value City warehouse, or it was a Value City warehouse. But it says at the Hell's Headbangers compound. So if you get a chance to pick that up on Hell's Headbangers, you probably should. And then this is the 15th anniversary, part 2, which was... This was 2016, and it's a 2 DVD set. The other one is 1 DVD. And then here's all the bands that was performed. Quite a few, a lot more compared to the original one. You also have Midnight, Acid Witch again, Profanatica, Archgoat, Blood Feast, High Spirits, October 31st, Inquisition, Cemetery Lust, Bat, The Lurking Corpses, Demonic Christ, Nocturnal Blood. Some of these I can't even read because of the logo is so hard to read. You got Death Hammer, Black Witchery, but can't wait to watch this one. I haven't watched it yet. It also came with a little, I guess this is I'll just unfold it this way. There's that, pictures on that side. And this is a really professionally shot one compared to the previous one. And then this is a guest banner that was there that people signed and wrote things on. So that's something that I can sit and study probably for hours and read and see different stuff. And then here's the whole collage here on the back, which I think that's really cool. This was September 4th, 5th, and 6th of 2015. So, and then there's the track listing. So yeah, it's I'd like to go to that this year, because they have it again this year. I'll take the disc out here and show you. There's the artwork. I'd like to go. I don't know if we're going to be able to go, because there's like so much stuff going on that we're going to, and we have to save money for and stuff. But, and this also came with a download card for the soundtrack, so I'm definitely going to download that probably as soon as I finish this video. One other thing, let me get it real quick because I forgot to get it. Hang on. This is a poster that I ordered, which this is Hell's Head Bash Part 3, and I already got it in a frame, believe it or not. And there's the artwork. You can see that for the glare. And it's called An All-New Nightmare on Elucid Avenue, September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of 2016. So this was last year's Hell's Head Bash. This was the previous year, and then this was the year before that. So the one for this year, they haven't got the DVD out yet, but as soon as that comes out, I'll be getting it. This was at the world famous Angora in Cleveland, Ohio. And you also had you had Acid Witch, Angel Corpse, Goat Semen, Incantation, Profanatica. I'm just looking through the list. I'm not reading all of them. But that's an awesome poster. And then on to the vinyl. One thing that I ordered from Hell's Headbangers, and in addition to all of that, Midnight Movies EP from Acid Witch. And I didn't realize this was an EP when I ordered it, but it wouldn't have mattered. I would have ordered it anyway. It's got 4 songs: I'm Back, After Midnight, Soldiers of the Night, and Party Time. And it's like a black matte finish, which I really like. And then here's the insert. And one guy's got the Freddy Krueger glove on. And the reason for that is I'm Back is from the from Rocktober Blood. I think that's the name of the movie. I'm not positive. After Midnight is from Trick or Treat soundtrack. Fastway did it originally. Soldiers of the Night is from the Black Roses soundtrack. And then Party Time was originally done by 45 Grave, which was on Return of the Living Dead soundtrack. So, that's really cool. There's the lyrics for all of those. And then it's on a black sleeve. Midnight Movies is the name of it. I don't know if I said that. And it's on like a red and gold vinyl there. There you can see it pretty good there. You could choose either black vinyl or color. You didn't really know what color you were getting until you got it, which was totally fine with me. And I listened to Acid Witch. I have one of their CDs, and I need to get all of their stuff, actually. Let's see, it seems like there's something else in there. Maybe not. Nope. Did not come with a download card, but that's okay, because I don't buy records for a download card, necessarily. It's an added bonus if you get one. And sometimes you know ahead of time that you are getting one, and sometimes you don't, but either way. I just love the artwork on all of their albums. Yeah, that's Acid Witch from Hell's Headbangers. If you're not familiar with Hell's Headbangers, you really should be. Get on their website and see what all kinds of cool stuff they got. If you like death metal, black metal, underground metal, I mean, it's all there. And then going sort of away from that kind of metal into what some people consider metal. Great White, Once Bitten. I did not have this, believe it or not. I have the CDs, and this was a good price and in good shape, so I went ahead and snagged it. This one has Lady Red Light on it. It also has Mistreater and Save Your Love. So now I need to get Twice Shy. So there's that, and then I picked this up. Let's see, was there an insert in this? I think it's just regular sleeve, yeah. I don't know if it originally came with an insert or not. And then I picked this up, Axe, Living on the Edge. I really like Axe. I think they're a very underrated band. And I think this is the 4th album I have from them now. I'm not sure in what chronological order this one came out in, but I think Fantasy of Love is the one song I'm familiar with. Well, and of course, Can't Help Myself, Sugar Pie Honey Bunch, which is a cover of a, I think, Temptations or something song. But yeah, if you're not familiar with Axe, they're really good. I mean, you might know the song Rock and Roll Party in the Street was the song, the original, or the first song that I'd heard from Axe, because they had a video on MTV, and then they also had Heat in the Street. I remember that one. So, and then I picked this up too. I have their first album, but I didn't have this one. Autograph, That's the Stuff. And I just love this kind of stuff because it's just so hilarious and cheesy. There's the lyrics, and there's the dudes on that side. This has the title track, That's the Stuff, and it also has Blondes in Black Cars. So I think both of those were videos, if I remember right. I know Blondes in Black Cars was. But their first album is probably the only one that people would know any songs off of unless you worshipped MTV like I did. You know, they play Turn Up the Radio. They still play that on classic rock radio around here. But I like all the music, you know. And then the last one is an album that I was watching an episode of Three Sides of the Coin, which is a Kiss podcast that sort of inspired to a certain degree, like other Kiss podcasts, for me and Eli to start a podcast. Anyway, I was watching the episode, and they were talking about different music, and one of the hosts of the show had mentioned this album. It's April Wine, Nature of the Beast. I have quite a few April Wine records, but I did not have this one to my knowledge. So I was looking for it based on his recommendation. I listened to some of it online beforehand, and there's the lyrics. And this was a decent copy for a decent price on Capitol. And this one also came with, and I don't know, there was 2 copies of it there, and I don't know if the other one came with this one or not. The original poster. And then it just has the album on the other side. So yeah, I was pretty happy to get this. There's a couple other April Wine albums that I had seen that same day that I didn't have. So if they're there when I go back, I might pick those up. All Over Town is a great song, and it seems like I was really familiar with that song. Once I heard it, it's like, this song sounds really familiar. I'm sure I've heard it before. Sign of the Gypsy Queen is a great song. And then the one that everyone knows from this album is Just Between You and Me, which is the ballad. MTV used to play that video all the time. But yeah, classic album from April Wine, Canadian band. So that's all I got in this metal update. Leave me some comments, and Thanks for my subscribers, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, and you never know what I'll be showing on my channel because I like everything. So if you enjoyed that, keep watching. You'll see some more eventually, I'm sure. So, take care. Have a good weekend. Have a good rest of the week. And keep smiling, unless you're toothless.